Sorry about that. So we selected this problem and we use the calculator to determine the x-intercepts. So 0.6 comma 0 and negative 2.6 comma 0 are the x-intercepts, and this is the y-intercept. So x-intercept, y-intercept. Okay, so domain we know, all real numbers, there is no discussion there. We determine the x and y intercepts. Now I have to find the vertex. And I have to remember how to find the coordinate, the x coordinate of the vertex. How do I find the x coordinate of the vertex?
Negative b over 2a.
Very good, thank you very much. Negative. B is 4. 2 times a is also 4, so this is negative 1. In order to find the y-intercept, the y-coordinate of the vertex, I have to plug in negative 1. So 2 minus 4 minus 3, negative 7 plus 2, negative 5. So I have the domain, I have the, from here I get two pieces of information, that x equals negative 1 is the axis of symmetry. Does this function have a max or a min? Does it have a max or a min? And how do I know?
Min?
Yes, because the leading coefficient is positive. Yes, very good. So the minimum value is always the y-coordinate of the vertex. Because it has a minimum, can anyone give us the range even before we graph it? It has a minimum, and I know the minimum value is negative 5. So what will be the range of this function? We can already picture the graph.
Negative 5 to infinite.
Of course. So it's done. So negative 1, negative 5. Always the vertex first. This is not an asymptote, not to be confused with an asymptote. X equals negative 1 is the axis of symmetry because the graph of the parabola is symmetric with respect to this line. This is not, polynomials do not have asymptotes. So I know it gets confusing now if we don't keep it straight. So this is a polynomial. Do not write any asymptotes of any kind on polynomials. They don't exist. Okay, so now the 0, negative 3 and 0.60 and negative 2.60. Negative 2.6. Notice one thing. This piece between the x-intercept and the axis of symmetry and this distance between the other x-intercepts and the axis of symmetry have to be the same. My graph is not going to be perfect. I'm not expecting a perfect graph, but please do not graph something like this. Try to make it as symmetric as possible. I'll try. Symmetric with respect to this line. So in other words, what I'm saying, if I fold the graph on the axis of symmetry, the two pieces should overlap on the axis of symmetry. The two pieces should overlap. They kind of. It's not perfect, but it's not like this. This is it. So this is f of x equals 2x squared plus 4x minus 3. Yes, you can graph it with the graphing calculator, and you go to y equals and put it in. delete everything else that you have in there. And this is 2x squared and plus 4x minus 3. And just zoom 6. It's good enough. That's it. It's coming from positive infinity, crossing at negative 2.6 roughly, coming down to negative 1, negative 5, crossing at 0, negative 3, crossing at 0.6, 0, going to infinity. And the range is obviously from negative 5 to infinity. We pictured the graph way before we graphed it. Once we know the vertex and the fact that the function has a minimum, we're done. Perfect. Very good pick. It's a very good problem. What are we doing next? Anyone, please? What is the next item?
I have a question.
Yes, please.
Would there be any word problems upon the test?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we looked at almost everything, everything that, no secrets. So we looked at horizontal distance and that's it's a shot. But release the shot with the same initial velocity and so on and so forth, different angles. So it reaches a maximum, it hits the ground. We may be asked to find this, which is an x-intercept. We may be asked to find the maximum, which is the vertex. The same thing here. We may be given a function to determine the maximum or the minimum. We looked at all these problems. We looked at enclosing a rectangular figure by such and such number of yards or feet of fencing. All these problems have a common denominator, and the common denominator is find the max or the min, which is the vertex of the parabola or the quadratic function. Let me know if you want to work on any problem. Anything else? Anything else on the topics?
Can we do a rational function word problem?
Yeah, excellent. Let me look at the page number here. And that is, we looked at the two of them. And the page number is 430. Yep. So we looked at the pH value, where the pH value starts at 6.5. It drops dramatically within the first 6 minutes, and then it levels off, and the horizontal asymptote, because it's type 1, leading coefficient over the leading coefficient, it was 6.5. And also the concentration of a drug in the bloodstream. Also a horizontal asymptote, but this is type 2, because the degree in the denominator is higher than the degree in the numerator, so the horizontal asymptote this time will be 0. So we looked at these two. I don't think there is anything else, but if we find something else, we can look at it. Oh yeah, look at this. Okay. So, for example, the incidence ratio of 9, is this incidence ratio? Okay, yes. The number of times more likely smokers are than non-smokers to die from whatever disease. And here's the function. Can anyone give us the horizontal asymptote of this function? And what type is it? P of x equals 100 times x minus 1 over x. What type of rational function is it? 1, 2, or 3? Anyone, please? Type 1, type 2, or type 3?
Is it 1?
Yes, same degree over same degree. Degree 1 at the top, degree 1 in the denominator. Excellent. What is the horizontal asymptote for degree 1? I'm sorry, for type 1. The horizontal asymptote for type 1.
Would it be just 1?
So it's the leading coefficient. We cannot disregard the leading coefficient over the leading coefficient. If you look at the graph, you'll see it also.
So it's 100?
Yes. The leading coefficient at the top is 100. The leading coefficient of the denominator is 1. 100 divided by 1 is 100. And it's also pictured here. Okay. Find P of 10. What do you think P of 10 is? And this is in percent. P of 10 is?
90?
90?
Yep. P of 9. Hard to estimate, but we can plug it in. So 9 minus 1. So the top is 800 and the denominator is 9. So when I divide 800, I get 88.9. So P of 9 would be 88.9. Round to the nearest percent. Okay, 89. What is the horizontal asymptote of the graph? We already know. What does it mean about the percentage of death? So eventually we'll get closer and closer to 100%. According to the model and its graph, is there a disease for which all deaths are caused by smoking? So it says, smokers between the ages of 65 and 74 are 9 times more likely than non-smoker in the same age group to die from lung cancer. And they give us the rational function. It models the percentage of smoking-related death among all deaths from a disease in terms of a disease incidence ratio, X. The graph of the rational function is shown. Use this function to solve these exercises, 103 to 106. So we're at 106. According to the model and its graph, is there a disease for which all deaths are caused by smoking? No, because this function gets closer and closer to 100%, but we say maybe eventually it may, but the horizontal asymptote is never, I shouldn't say never, but considered not to be attainable. It gets closer and closer, closer and closer, but not ever touches it. So no, Good. Anything else? We looked at quadratics, rational functions, division of polynomials, rational and polynomial inequalities. The S is there, but when I scanned it, it disappears. I'm sorry. And cubic and fourth degree polynomial functions graph. Is there anything else you need help with the homework? Is there anything that we need to address in the homework or any other topic? I don't want to waste time. I want us to use the time efficiently, please. What do you need help with? What should we do next? Tell me what you need. Hunter, do you need help with anything? Christy? Imani? Emily? Jay? Well, if you don't need anything, I'd like to continue then. Anything else from here?
Is there anything we haven't gone over on that list?
Maybe the cubic and the fourth degree and the rational inequalities and polynomial inequalities. I can't think of anything else.
Can we just go over those as well?
Yeah, can you give us an example of any cubic function that you want us to work on, or any polynomial and rational inequalities?
Let me see if I have anything in my homework.
Yeah. Again, just one example today or two examples today will not be enough. Meaning, please go back to the videos.